I have just tested moving averages on 1000 different strategies and 1000 different market conditions, and here are the results. This is the truth. This is how good moving averages really are. This gives you the answer if you should consider using moving averages overall. So let me get into details. Okay, in this video, together, we're going to analyze very simple condition. What happens if we trade moving averages, specifically simple moving average, SMA, or exponential moving average, and what actually happens if we just consider simple conditions like close is above or below simple moving average or exponential moving average. However, we're going to consider those as filters on top of existing strategies. So let me show you, because we're going to test the feasibility of these simple filters on 1000 different strategies and 1000 different market conditions. And it's going to be very, very exciting study. So what we're going to do, we're going to find the truth if these two moving averages actually work on 1000 strategies and 1000 different market regimes. And we're basically going to load a strategy. Then we will extract the DNA of that strategy. We will create 1000 siblings, which will be structurally close strategies, but different strategies. The point is that we don't necessarily need to test this on completely different strategies. And then we will test these moving averages also across 1000 different market conditions, and we see how reliable or good these moving averages are. So let's get to it. First of all, let me load a simple breakout strategy. This is a NASDAQ 60 minutes template long strategy, and it just basically looks like this. And this strategy doesn't have any filter. This strategy is a simple strategy where we just take low of the day of the previous day, and that low of the day is it's meant for the end of the day at 4 p.m. Chicago time. So low of the day considered until 4 p.m. of yesterday times, plus 0.8 multiplication of average through range 40. That's all. This is the only entry formula, and then the exit formula is basically just end of the day exit. So I can just show you very quickly. Either when it's Friday, we close on Friday, or we simply use exit at the end of the day. In TradeStation, this is set exit on the day. So super simple. This is really super simple strategy. The point is that we don't have any filter here, and we want to know if moving averages overall are good filters which could help us to improve strategies, breakout strategies, or any other strategy. So we're going to pick this strategy. That's pretty good one just to test, and then load it. And then together with the strategy, we also need to load the underlying market data, because the market data, it's all done automatically. We need to create 1000 different strategies. And now, okay, we said that we're going to test actually moving averages. So I'm going to pick that we're going to test these moving averages. We will focus on close above or below simple moving average with specific period. This period will be 1 to 20 step 10. So we're going to test 10, 20, 30 until 200. And then we do similar test with exponential moving average, but with a different multiplier 2. So we will do 2, 4, 6 until 40. And then we do with multiplier 5. So that will be quite interesting to see, to throw in a bunch of different multipliers. And then we will also, just out of curiosity, we'll also include comparing two different exponential moving averages with different multipliers. So we will be actually just testing 2, 4, 6 until 40, and then 5, 10, 15 until 100. So now we're not closing if the price is above or below moving average at the moment of the entry, but if exponential moving average is above or below, the fast one is above or below the slow one. So it's basically just two different moving averages, and if they're above or below while when we have the entry. Now we're going to, so we have 8 different conditions, and this is a long strategy, so we're going to test them long, and we have 20 steps optimized for N1 and 2, so it's altogether is 920 variants. Okay, so now this is the underlying strategy, this is the core strategy, this is the underlying market data, so I'll just load it. And now we're going to create automatically 1,000 strategies with relevant but different DNA. So, okay, we created, this was the first step. Basically, the code extracted the DNA of the original strategy and created 1,000 other different strategies. And now we're testing all this space on these 1,000 strategies and 1,000 different market conditions. So it's almost 1 million exhaustive iterations. As you can see, it's very, very fast. It's flying, and 1 million different iterations tested on 1,000 different strategies and 1,000 market conditions. It's all done literally within 1 minute, super, super fast. And now the fun begins. So basically, all the indicators, so this is how the test is done. So basically, first of all, each of these 1,000 strategies, okay, because now we're trading on 1,000 created additional synthetic strategies with similar DNA, but at the same time different strategies. So we want to see how many of these did improve net profit drawdown ratio, average trade, and bounce means how many of these were originally losing strategies, because among these 1,000 generated siblings were also losing versions, losing strategies. How many were actually brought back to life? So this could also be called back to life, brought back to life indicator. And how many of these we brought back into the life? And basically, we have a test for each of these. So the most important test is how many strategies out of 1,000 did improve net profit drawdown ratio with each indicator. Here is each row represents different condition. And we can see that with the first one, with the first condition, we improved over half of the strategies with net profit drawdown ratio, specifically 540. That's pretty good. For average trade, 480, so close to the half. That did not pass the criteria that it must be at least 500, but it's quite all right. And then bounce effect 540. And then overall, and this is what is the overall improvement. So overall improvement on average, among 1,000 strategies is 0.3% net profit drawdown improvement, and plus 48% average trade. Wow, that's really good. 48% average trade. And overall, we do have quite a few strategies recovered from that. So overall, this is not bad. And if I have a look, I can see here in details, I can see what I just shared with you, net profit drawdown ratio, 0.3% on average, and 540 strategies improved. 48% average trade, average improvement, average trade. This is really good. Okay, guys. So, I mean, if we can improve average trade by 48%, a lot of strategies which would not be tradable because of low average trade, just with moving averages, can be brought back to life. And bounce index 48%. So that means almost half of all the strategies which originally failed. Out of these 1,000 strategies, 1,000 siblings where we actually had failing, we have some failed strategies, almost half was brought back to life by implementing a moving average filter. That's very impressive. That's really, really good. So basically, this is what it looks like in the chart. This is the original strategy data. We can see the original trades. I don't know if you can see these arrows. This is the original trades, and this is actually what would be taken and what would be left. So overall, that's how it works. Okay. We also can see the optimization map for each combinations, and we can see where would be the sweet spot. But the point is right now that if we take all these different moving averages, we can see which are the poorest and which are the strongest. And the poorest, with only 50% viability, is basically just a simple condition when we check if in the moment of the entry the price is above or below the moving average. So especially if we want to trade a long breakout strategy on NASDAQ 60 minutes and the close is below exponential moving average overall during the entry, it doesn't do any good job. It doesn't help. It's not a robust indicator. It can look good once you optimize it, but it's not robust. It's not confirmed on 1,000 strategies and 1,000 different market conditions. Okay, so why would you trade something what is just a overfit and then not confirmed on 1,000 different strategies and market conditions? So where we're getting improvement is actually once we take this condition with simple moving averages. So that's quite interesting. So basically exponential moving average when combined just with this simple condition above below close doesn't seem to produce much of an improvement, but simple moving average it does. So that's what I keep saying for a long time. I just love simple moving average. I just think that simple moving average is fantastic and it's a very, very viable indicator, and I use it for multiple reasons. It's simple, it's not fancy. A lot of people just think it's too simple, so they ignore it. But I think there's a lot of magic in simple moving average, and just filtering your entries with simple moving average seems to be quite robust. 83% highly recommended. We need only one optimizable input, so there's no much room for over optimization. And for example, for average trade, it doesn't matter which period we take, 20, 30, 40, 50. For each period, among 1,000 different strategies on average, we see 50% improvement. I mean, this is fantastic. So basically we can take any period on average, and as proven on 1,000 different strategies and 1,000 different market conditions, it does improve average trade. So very, very potent for improving every trade. And we still have quite high recovery index, and we don't have much of an improvement of net profit drawdown ratio. So specifically, if you want to improve average trade, then this is a fantastic way to do it, at least on NASDAQ long, 60 minutes. And the winner is actually comparing two moving averages, a slow and a fast one. And I was a little bit surprised about this one. I honestly did not expect it, but basically this is the condition. So basically, if we take, the condition is that fast moving exponential moving average here in period 16 has to be below slow exponential moving average. Here is a period 85, but at least for the average trade, the optimization map where we can see the period of slow versus period of fast shows that it almost doesn't matter among these 1,000 different market conditions and 1,000 different strategies where you pick, which value, which combinations you pick, you will be mostly right, and you will be mostly improving your strategy average trade. Overall, if we combine all these three fitness functions, that means net profit drawdown ratio, average trade, and bounce index together, the sweet spot is for the fast one somewhere between 14 to 18 or 14 to 22. So basically the fast one, I would stay probably between 10 and 20. And for the high period, 80 to 90 or 70 to 90. So that's suggesting some ratio, something like 3 or 4 to 1. Okay, so 3 or 4 to 1 ratio for this condition, fast exponential moving average has to be below the slow moving average. This ratio seems to be very viable. Again, confirmed on 1,000 different strategies and 1,000 different market conditions. So it's super robust. If you use this condition on your NASDAQ strategy, you're not going wrong. You're not overfitting. You're not over optimizing. That's the big difference. Okay, a lot of traders, they just overfit, over optimize just for their particular strategy, and then they're wondering why it's not working. That's because they didn't really verify these results on 1,000 different strategies and 1,000 different market conditions. It's so important to do this robustly and properly, and then you know the truth. This is the truth, and this is what we know that works. So again, deploying fast versus slow exponential moving average, or simply close below simple moving average for long NASDAQ strategy seems to work very, very well. I'm pretty impressed with these results. So let me know, what do you think? Let me know if you are using exponential moving average or simple moving average. And actually next video, I'm going to compare CCI and RSI. This is a very interesting comparison. I'll explain why, and I'll give you some data. Again, I will test across 1,000 different strategies and 1,000 different market conditions, and we will see some good surprises. So don't forget to don't forget to subscribe. So next week you'll see how RSI compares to to CCI and if any of them is a viable filter or viable indicator. If you like this kind of videos, give me a like so I know you want me to produce more of them. And that's really all for today. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next video. So meanwhile, happy breakout trading.